Hello everyone, today I'm going to discuss the 2006 historical drama film, Marie Antoinette. Spoilers ahead, watch and take care. Let's get into the movie. To make the Austria-France peace accord work, Marie has to marry the Prince of France and become the new Queen of France. So Marie gets ready for the day, before her mother passes her over to her caregiver, and tells her to listen to him. Then Marie boards her carriage with her adored dog and bodyguards. As she travels from Austria, she looks at the photograph of her future spouse, and finds methods to amusing herself. They showed up in France shortly after a few days, during which the ambassador has handed over Marie to the French tribunal. As a customary, she is presented to Comtesse, however Marie acknowledges her with an enormous smile on her face. The French lady indicates that right away she's leaving Austria beneath chill, and from now on her home is French land. They even take her dog and eliminated all of her clothing and personal possessions, so that she must only wear French outfits. Then she kicks off her journey to the French courts. There she is introduced to the Prime Minister of the Westminster Abbey. Upon her arrival, collectively they meet the King of France, King Louis XV. As a result, he introduces Marie to his grandson Louis, and she ultimately gets to meet her fiancé finally. She gestures to him and then accommodates him. They all travel together to the castle, where Maria is welcomed by a large crowd of people, who merely gaze at her while she makes her way cautiously into the castle. She then takes an exploration of the building, prior to descending at her room. Shortly after relaxing in, Marie goes to the church, where her soon-to-be husband and half of royal France waiting for her. After the ceremony, where they have their first ballet, and everybody praises them. After the dance, the king celebrates the newlywed couple, and conveys his expectations for a royal heir to the couple. Following the wedding celebrations, Marie and Louis drive to the castle and reside for their first night there. The next morning, the king is notified that the night ceremony has not taken place. When Marie wakes, she is provided with all of her directions on her duties as a Lady of Dauphin. Marie is given a crash course in French protocol, which she learns by being forced to stand nude in front of everyone, while the person with the greatest rank is granted the privilege of clothing her. The traditions seem totally ludicrous to Marie. Then Marie and Louis had their first breakfast together, and throughout the meal, she reveals him about his interest of creating keys. She attempts to start up a discussion with Louis to discover more about him, but he fails to offer her any leeway. Marie then goes to the religious service. During the proceedings, Marie and her handmaiden make a mockery of an elderly lady, who fallen asleep during the pastor's sermon, and Marie's courtier warns her and her handmaiden. Later that night, the royal family gathers for supper, and she finds that the king has a mistress whom he brings to the royal table. In order to please him, no one seems to be bothered by her presence, but Marie is captivated by the fact that she doesn't adhere to their standards of society. Meanwhile, rumors are still circulating and Maria continues to be seen as an outsider. When she attempts to embrace him, Louis informs her that he is too sleepy to do anything else. The next morning, Marie gets a message from her mother, urging her to persuade Louis to complete the marriage deal. Marie's mother conveys worries in the letter, about her daughter's lack of ability to succeed in making her marriage work. She condemns Marie for her husband's lack of devotion, which will put the alliance between Austria and France into jeopardy. That night, Louis refuses to deal with her again, and rather wishes her a good night. The next day, Marie had enough of being dumped and treated like a stranger. Meanwhile, Marie catches sight of the king's mistress and looks to have an idea of her own. Over the time, Marie becomes used to the politics of royal family. One day, when Louis leaves on a hunting vacation, Marie expresses her embarrassment if her sister-in-law becomes pregnant prior to her, and Louis vows that when he returns, they will definitely try for an heir at the royal bed. In the next scene, Marie defies conventions by clapping during a court play, which generally is frowned upon. But Louis seems to view her in a new sight, after observing the crowd's response. While on another hunting expedition, Marie gets a letter from her mom, which increases her desire to birth an heir. That night, Louis cuddles her, and tries to figure out what he thinks would work. The following day, at the diner, Marie and Louis learnt that their brother-in-law had given birth to a newly born boy. So Marie and Louis accompany them to offer their congratulations them. She can hear everyone blaming her for failing to yield at a child, so Marie comes back to her chamber to grieve. Time passes by, and Marie entirely disregards her marital troubles, or the fact that she doesn't have kids. Rather, she enjoys spending her time shopping, consuming junk food, partying, and gamble with her courtly individuals. Her friend suggests they should take part a master ball in Paris. Her friend directs her that since it is the master ball, nobody will know who they actually are. Then they board a horse-drawn carriage and travel to Paris for the party, wearing disguises in order to conceal their true identities. At the ball, Marie and her courtiers have an enjoyable evening, dancing, singing, and drinking. Then Marie draws the eye of a young man who comes to her and introduces himself as Count Ferguson. After a while, Marie and her friends return to the palace. Meanwhile, when Marie and Louis head back to the palace from the garden, they find out that the king was infected with smallpox and is seriously ill. Since the king still has a mistress on his sick bed, the bishop informs Louis that they won't be able to receive the king's confessional rites at the church ceremony. Then the official announcement of the demise of the king is delivered to Marie and her husband Louis. In the scenario that follows, Crown King Louis is crowned as the next king of France. Shortly after that, the celebration for Queen Marie's birthday has been held, and that evening they celebrate by drinking, dancing, and gambling. King Louis encourages Marie to return to bed, but she refuses, stating that she prefers to watch the dawn with him. He declines her plea and wishes her good luck with her gamble. After watching the most magnificent dawn without her husband, Marie goes along the garden and offers to the royal gardener that she have some new trees planted. The garden controller reminds her that she has already shelled out $50,000 and has no cash left to contribute to charities. She promises him she will seek out King Louis for additional money later. Then Marie finds she has no money for the remainder of the month, but alongside Louis deploys funding and men to America as the Revolutionary War begins. Marie is later informed while attending piano classes that her brother Joseph is waiting at the palace. She goes over to welcome him and they both have tea in tandem. Joseph advises her about her peers and gambling habits. He further tells her that he will be having meeting with the young King Louis. Then Joseph successfully instructs King Louis on the tenets of a good marriage. Later that night, Louis accomplishes the duties of a husband in bed, and Marie appears like a new lady. Time passes and Marie gave birth to a daughter, Princess Marie Theresa. Despite Marie's desire to feed the infant herself, the baby is carried away to be fed by the inmates. Then King Louis gives Marie the keys to the castle for her personal use. While she recovers in her new home, Marie follows her artistic love by putting on a play, in which she plays and sings, but time shifts again, as the warriors who fought for America return. In their honor, King Louis threw a party ball. Marie goes back to the palace to meet them. There Marie gets to meet Count Ferguson once again while making introductions. Following a festive evening, citizens start to observe how Marie loves to be entertained by Ferguson, which swiftly leads to both of them having an illicit relationship. Shortly after a while, Ferguson has to go back to America, and Marie ends up feeling depressed. She requests the King Louis to accompany her to Paris, but King Louis declines, causing her disappointed again. During a conference with his advisors, they protested to the monarch that sending soldiers to America would cost France an enormous amount of money. As a show of power, King Louis resolves to continue supporting America. Meanwhile, Marie and her courtiers debate stories about rumors of her in French media, but she ultimately chooses to help alleviate the country's famine issue. Shortly when Marie hears of her mother's death, she letters back to her brother to convince him that France continues to be an ally, and that she is still his sister. Despite the fact that Marie gets pregnant, and gives birth to a baby who becomes France's heir, French public continues to condemn her lavish spending habits, and people in France begin to call her names. So Marie starts to prioritize her family above her social schedule. After a while, the king and queen are subsequently notified that the Bastille building fortress has been attacked by an outraged mob. The royal court suggests that all royals connected to the family be relocated elsewhere for their safety, but Marie informs them she'll remain at the castle with Louis. After Marie bid final goodbyes to every one of her pals, as they ride off to seek refuge in other countries, she finds herself in an empty castle. Later that night, while King and his family were sleeping, the mob gathered outside the palace. Marie shows up on the balcony to know the situation and bows down before the mob, as if she is conveying her apologies to the people of France. Then the court official gathered and make a decision to leave the palace. The following day, after the king, queen, and their children prepares to leave the royal residence for a more secure spot, she takes one last look around the palace's surroundings and smiles at Louis, comprehending that she'll never witness this place again. And the movie ends. Write your thoughts on the movie in the comments section below. Thanks for watching the video.